In a world, 4 friends, 1 mission.
Mikey, what are you doing?
I'm doing the thing for the podcast.
It's not that hard, bud.
Dude, just say the name.
Fine. It's the Freedom Friends podcast.
Woo! Here we are.
Oh, fucking A. Okay. So I'm gonna just single-handedly do our typical intro for the debate.
We're gonna
Scott, what are we about to do?
we're gonna do something.
We're about to masturbate, boys. Okay, cool.
Yes.
So that's out of the way. So welcome to the Freedom Friends Master Debate, where we make up problems and solve world issues. That's just kind of what we do. We had a crazy episode previous to this, where clearly we had to replace a host. We probably could have replaced all of the hosts.
Well, just look at the table. I mean, that's...
Yeah, we had a good time. We had a great time. So we did a whole bunch of Irish car bombs. We killed an entire liter of JMO with just Irish car bombs.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, we're having a great time.
Yeah.
So there's me. We got Scott.
Kind of.
He's still kind of here.
We got 6 out of 10.
We replaced Mikey with Mal. Hi, Mal.
Hey.
Hi. And then we still have Dylan.
Hey.
Dylan is the smartest one out of the bunch.
I don't know about that.
No, you were, because you refused the last shot and
That is
Scott
true.
took it.
Definitely. He took it
So-
immediately, by the way. He was
Big
like, "No, I'll do
difference.
this.
Big difference.
Look at him now.
So typically on
could
our
have-
debates,
That could have been me.
what we do is we have a question. We have something that we're talking about.
Okay.
That's a semi-serious topic.
Oh, semi.
Yeah, and then we find a solution for it, and we put it out there for everybody else to hear.
All right.
So I have 2 questions. One, Scott, do you have a debate for us?
I'm gonna time out.
Okay, Scott's going to time out. Justin, do you have a debate for us?
Fair game, Scott.
I think Scott might have just bowed out for the entire episode. Just Dylan, it is you and I and Mal.
I think he did.
We're fucking doing this.
I'm
Over
down, man.
under
Let's
9
go.
minutes it takes them to get to the camper.
It doesn't matter. We're doing a fucking podcast.
Okay.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go.
Justin, what do you got?
Guys, it wouldn't be the Freedom Friends if we didn't talk about our number 1 sponsor, Warfighter Tobacco. Obviously, you guys have seen us all smoke them. We're here to talk about a quality product that everybody can enjoy. The great equalizer, as we've called it, the Warfighter Tobacco Stick. And it's not just cigars. They've got humidors, travel humidors, cutters, lighters, everything you need to get started on that journey. Check out warfightertobacco.com and use that code FTFO. Score yourself that sweet, sweet 15%. If you want to know my personal favorite, I'm a 762 Field guy. I like that Sumatra, real nice and even keeled cigar. Great for us beginner smokers, right? And I'm told that these taste even better when you're listening to the Freedom Friends podcast. Now, back to the show. This episode is brought to you by Grill Your Ass Off. It's no secret, we're all middle-aged dudes who love barbecue. Grill Your Ass Off is our main go-to for our spices. That's what we use, man. Whether you're doing burgers on the grill, steaks, or my personal favorite, a little bit of pork belly burn ends, right? They've got you covered on all of that. They also have salsas. They also have seasonings and spices. They got beer salts. They've got everything, man. Check them out. GrillYourAssOff.com/Freedom Friends Podcast, or use the code Freedom Friends Podcast at checkout.
I couldn't take my eyes off Scott.
So Mikey left in our
Immediately
break.
bowed
So
out.
typically
Yeah,
we do
immediately.
a break in between our podcast and our debate.
Yeah.
Right. And so like it could be 5 minutes, it could be an hour.
Yeah.
Like it just kind of depends on what we have going on,
Sure.
who's here, what we drank, like the topics that we
Feeling the
talk
vibe.
about.
Yeah.
Because we go into all of this cold,
Uh-huh.
right? Like the podcast, when we just recorded,
Yeah.
did we give you a heads up on what's going on?
No.
Not one bit.
No.
We barely even told you about what we're drinking.
I mean, that's the only thing I knew.
We decided that we're going to do Irish car bombs.
Yeah.
But it wasn't
I
like,
didn't know it was going to be 6. But yeah. That's yeah.
right. So like we had no idea.
Yeah.
We were just all of it. We walk in cold. So
Completely. Yeah.
for 5 years, we walked in cold to every episode we ever recorded.
Okay.
And every debate we ever recorded,
Uh-huh.
we already did the episode.
Okay.
So we already drank for an hour
A while.
plus.
Yeah.
We had a great time. And then Justin decides some crazy topic that we have to come up with.
What's the topic?
So this one, I thought of the term "drunk minds speak sober thoughts," right? So maybe y'all have some
That
good.
is a true statement in the world.
So maybe y'all can think back.
I wish I could bring Mikey and Scott back on this right now.
So I want to know, what would you say to your 13-year-old self?
Oh my God.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, we're getting deep on this one. I want to know.
What would I say to my 13-year-old self?
Yes.
Invest in Apple.
Oh,
He's
the
back.
man makes a return.
Okay, so we have a question.
All right, I'm back.
Okay.
It's a new
So what would you say to your 13-year-old self?
drink more car bombs.
No, I'm invest in Apple and Bitcoin. That's
fair.
it.
That's fair.
Like I put fucking 10 grand into the two. I'm fucking set right now. Like fucking set.
I mean,
Because okay, so when I was
did
13,
you look at what happened today?
when I was 13, it was 1995,
Yeah.
right? If I invested in Apple and Bitcoin at the time,
Well,
10
how much-
grand split between the two.
Did you have 10 grand?
Oh fuck no!
That's what I'm saying. Like,
But if I did,
yeah, but when you're 13, like you don't have that money to
no.
invest,
But
right? Like
looking
what do you
back,
your
I have
allowance?
nothing but my parents to yell at. Like, why the fuck didn't you invest 10 grand into my personal stocks
Yeah,
for these two companies that you didn't know were going to take off and explode?
I mean, you're a parent, right?
Yeah.
Why didn't you invest in
would
your
you
kids?
tell your 13-year-old to invest in the stock market right now? Exactly. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, come on. Like,
No, I get
they're
it.
not.
I get it 100%.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, I think that.
What would you tell your 13-year-old self, Mal?
I would tell you when you were 13 to also put some money in for me, but I wouldn't be able to do that because I was born the
weren't
year
born
you,
yet.
yeah, you
You
were
were
13.
4 years.
So when you were 13, what would you recommend
When I
your
was
own
13.
self to do?
I mean, mine would be the investment side of everything. I
Mainly because you're in finance now, right?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
been a huge interest. I also would have said, I nerd out on this stuff. I also would have said, maybe go get tested for ADHD and actually finish college instead of dropping out. But
So, Scott and Dylan, what would you guys tell your 13-year-old self to do?
You want to go first for me? Oh,
Scott, put it on you.
I mean, honestly,
But you got to think, like, what did you know at 13 versus what do you know now?
When I was 13, I thought I was a shit. I thought I had.
Well,
it
yeah,
out,
like I
right?
knew everything.
Yeah, right. Like, and I would tell myself probably.
But looking back, what would you tell your 13-year-old
It's
self?
not-
Like, hey, bro.
I would say it's not going to be up to your expectation,
yeah.
but it's definitely going to be good.
Ooh,
So,
that's good.
so keep writing it. Like, keep that spirit up. I mean, that's where a lot of people lose it. I think is people grow up and they think that you have to kind of drop that spirit a little bit. And I don't
So
think you should.
I'm going to disagree.
Okay.
And the only reason I'm going to disagree is it's mandatory to grow old.
Mm-hmm.
It's optional to grow up.
I mean, that's fair, but I think that growing up brings a lot of benefit.
It does, right? But
I was
Okay.
always an old soul. I mean, for sure. Like, I was
Yeah.
definitely one of those people that wanted to be. I mean, I left high school when I was 17. I wanted to have a job, move out, have my own thing, and I still respect that now. Like, I don't. I think there were some dumb decisions I made for sure. I was an idiot back then.
trust
right?
me,
Like,
everybody made them.
I was a musician for 10 years. I tried to be a rock star, tried to be all that shit. And like, there's paths I would have taken differently back then. But like when I was 13, I was still pretty impressionable.
Right.
I think I was.
So
I think I had a good like core mind.
So knowing what you know now,
Yeah.
and knowing your 13-year-old self,
Yeah.
as impressionable as they are,
Yeah.
what would you told that 13-year-old?
I mean, really, just go for it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I really think that.
Don't fucking quit.
be too dumb to quit.
I never
Yeah.
quit. Like, I felt like I don't know. When I was back then, I thought like people thought less of me, of my capability now, and now I have the kind of proof to show the capability.
Right.
But back then I didn't. Right. So
Yeah. You have the experience now.
like this sounds really pompous, but like I would tell myself, like, yeah, just keep going. Like, just keep following that dream. That's it. And by the way, the dream doesn't have to be like, whatever, you own a mansion and have millions of dollars. Like it's just being happy and having a passion for what you do.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't.
And enjoying what you do.
Yeah.
While
Just
you're on
have a
that path.
good time. Like
Right.
pay your bills. You got to make your note. You got to do all that shit. But like,
so
you can be happy while you do it.
I feel
or at
like
least comfortable.
That's something that
There's
somebody
a lot of people that don't.
that people have lost in this country is
Yeah.
like, I have to be this like super popular, crazy Instagram, blah, 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 whatever, and go to these high-end places all over the world, or I'm nothing.
I mean, that's a cool experience.
Don't get me
But
wrong.
really,
it
what is it bringing to your table?
Yeah.
Like, how are you putting that back out there?
Like,
because that's what's important.
I can
Whatever
travel.
you take in, you got to put out.
I can
And
travel
think that-
anywhere in the world and have a great fucking time
Yeah,
for $300 a night.
absolutely.
Like
Yeah.
dinners, hotels, whatever you want to classify as your expenses for that evening.
Yeah.
Like baller status. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or you can go spend $5,000.
Bro, I've had more fun hanging out with guys that have $10 to their name. I mean, like, seriously, that's more fun
Absolutely.
than
Because it's
yeah.
real.
Yeah, it's
know?
absolutely real.
Yeah.
Is
Like-
there?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, is there anything you would look back and tell your 13-year-old self, "Hey, I did this. Avoid making this choice or mistake or whatever." Is there anything you could tell your 13-year-old
yeah,
self that?
At the
Like,
point in time in
yeah.
life you are right now.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's
If
probably
you could
a couple
travel
things.
back.
I mean, don't set standards so high. Don't think you're the best when you're not. Because I had a lot of people telling me back then that I was, and that's not true. I know that.
But
right?
now, looking back at yourself, would you say that, like, I know, like, personal,
Uh-huh.
there comes a level where you're like, you know what? I may be the fucking best at this. And it's twofold. One, you have no idea what you're doing. Two, you think you have the experience you need to know.
I guess my response would
Would
be
you
like,
stop yourself from telling yourself that?
yeah, but I think the people that are the best at what they do,
Yeah.
at one point did know what they were doing, right?
All of them.
I think
Every single
that's
one of
part
them.
of it. It's kind of that blind.
They have no idea. And they're like, I don't know what I'm doing. Why are you asking me for
Well, that's why
advice?
it's different and it's noticed is that
Yeah.
like, you're going into it blind and you're going into something that's not. I mean, I think you can study it all you want, but until you're in whatever you're doing, you don't really know.
Right.
And I think that maybe that's something I would have told myself is that like you don't know. You got to get into it. You got to fucking.
Especially
Earn it,
in
right?
the bar
I mean-
restaurant scene, cigar lounge scene.
Which is
Like,
I mean, it's something that's really small in this world, right? Like the service industry is something it's looked at as something that's kind of in a smaller percentage of the makeup of everything, but like,
but it's huge.
yeah, I mean, it really is. Like, I mean,
There's more people-
we're serving you
Yeah.
your drink, we're serving you your food, whatever it is. Like, there's a lot of us out there, and I don't think every server deserves 20% of your tip. I mean, they really don't. Like, which nowadays it's like, man, they expect you to tip for.
So my favorite, I'm so glad you
insane.
brought this up. Right. So like, if I pull up to a drive-through somewhere,
Yeah.
right? Like
There
if
should
I
be
go,
no tip. Like,
if I go into an establishment
drive-through.
and I sit down at the bar and I order drinks and they make me drinks, I'm going to fucking tip you.
Okay, why
I was
do you
a
tip?
bartender.
Why do you tip?
Because so I tip based on the quality of service that I get.
Okay.
So my minimum is 20%.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to give you 20% no matter what.
Yeah.
Right? If you're a fucking rock star, who fucking knows? Literally, who knows?
But what makes him a rock star from your perception?
So the only thing that I require when I go to an establishment is you anticipate my needs. That's it. Nothing else.
That's
Not
fair.
a single fucking
That's fair.
thing else. Right? I don't care if I walk into a dive bar or the fucking finest
Yeah.
dining establishment in the city. If I walk in there, right, and I order a double jam on the rocks, I expect it to be served exactly
Adequately.
how it is.
Yeah.
If I order my meal, however the fuck I order it, I expect it to be exactly how it is.
Yeah, but even with the meal, like that's where it gets weird, right? Is it sometimes
The difference is the bar, right? So if I go to a fine dining establishment and I'm looking to spend $100 a plate,
yeah,
and I order my steak medium rare,
and it comes up medium.
but go fuck yourself. No, straight up,
Well,
go fuck your,
for
because
real,
I know
though,
what
I
you're
mean,
charging me for that fucking
That's
steak.
why. Yeah.
So
you
go
know-
fuck yourself,
so
buddy. I'm
that-
making a goddamn scene.
That has.
But if I walk into the place that has a ribeye for $17 and I
Yeah.
order it medium rare and it comes out medium well, I'm gonna eat that bitch.
Well-
And I'm not gonna say a goddamn word.
but I think that you.
'Cause there's a $17 ribeye.
Okay, if you got a $20 ribeye,
No, we're not playing the price point here
I think
because the price
that's a-
point doesn't matter.
it does though.
The ambiance
perceived-
of my experience when I walk into the restaurant matters. Yes, it does.
Perceived value.
No,
I promise you.
no, because I know where I'm going to get what I'm going to
If
spend.
you get charged for a $40 ribeye, and it's not made to your perfection,
We went to a place in New Braunfels this past weekend. No, 2 weekends ago.
Which place?
I'm not going to say it on the fucking show. I'm not.
All right.
Right?
Yeah.
They had a $38 ribeye.
Uh-huh.
Right? They had a $22.
Bone
No. They had a $22 country fried ribeye. I got the $22 country fried ribeye. And it was fucking delicious.
Did you order it rare?
No, there was no option to order
It's
it.
country fried.
Right?
Yeah. Fucking with
So, but what what I'm trying to say with this is if I'm going into your establishment to order a fucking high-end steak,
Mhm.
I'm going to pay for it straight up. If I'm paying $40 for a steak from your place, it's going to be trash. I get it. It might be okay.
What if it's cooked perfect?
It might be okay.
So your baseline for $40 steak is perfect.
Okay, now I've never had a $40 steak
Well, whatever,
that
like-
outperformed a high-end steakhouse.
But that's what I'm saying. Like if
No, if I did, I would talk about this place up and down, left and right, fucking no tomorrow.
what I'm saying
Because
is
I love food. I'm a fat kid. I love it.
Look,
Our metabolisms are
I'm a
different. That's
fat
it.
what I'm saying is I think
Scott, do you love food?
I like food.
breaking news, Scott likes food.
But no, but I'm just saying though,
that
like
litter.
if you're gonna go in, you know what you're walking into before you walk into it.
I think if you go to a high-end steakhouse and you're spending, $100 to $200 on
A plate per person.
it better meet a minimum.
Exactly.
For sure.
But if you're going in there, it's 30, 40, 50 bucks a
I
person.
think the places that do
It's
the
different.
best are the places that have a lower price point off
Bro, you gotta come to dinner with us.
Dude,
Or a couple of
the,
bougie
prob- the problem with me
I'm a fucking foodie, bro.
yeah, but
love
I grew
food.
up in the food business. Like
Yeah.
my grandfather came from Italy. My great grandfather came from Italy to start a restaurant. Like it's in my fucking blood. My other grandfather on my mother's side runs. Well, he doesn't now. He's too old. But he started and still has a company. But it's a produce company that like you wouldn't have produce from Mexico if it wasn't for him.
Right.
I mean, he was really high up in the food business, right? So like, I know the corporate world of food. And I know the homey side of food. Like, I get
Right.
it for sure. But I'm telling you, like, there's if a good waitress or waiter comes to your table and serves you correctly and adequately and gets your food to you quickly and is there for the refill and whatever,
Yep.
but your steak's not cooked right, it's not their fault.
Yeah.
And that's
100% it's not.
But they take the heat for it. Like, and that's,
Well,
and I
they
get it.
do.
Why? I mean, like,
the first line of defense.
for sure.
Yeah.
But
yep.
I don't know.
Well, it's
I think I
it's
think
100% on the kitchen for fucking up. But now,
Well,
you
but
walk
they don't
into
have
a-
to feel that, right?
Right.
Like, there's
But now that's that $30, $40 a plate place. You
Yeah.
walk into that $80 to $100 plate place,
yeah,
and their food's fucked up. That's everybody's problem.
yeah. They should have saw it. Yeah,
But no. if it gets delivered to you at $80 to $100 a plate, everybody is at fault at that point.
Yeah.
Right. Everyone.
Yeah,
From
there's
the wait staff
but
to the food deliverer to all the way up to the fucking executive chef. There was a breakdown of communication between every single person,
yeah.
and this shit's fucked. And
Yeah,
now
but
I'm paying
the
a
problem
fuckload
is-
of money.
And I've been
for
in
shitty
restaurants
food.
like this where like the chef says it's good.
Mm-hmm.
The expediter says it's good. The waitress takes it out.
Yeah. And they say it's
thinking
good.
that it's good.
Yep. And they serve it and they cut into it and it's not.
But who gets the fault? I'm telling you, it's always the waitress.
It's the wait staff.
always the
100%.
waitress.
It really
sucks.
is.
It's
Right.
like-
And really, it's the fucking kitchen.
or the manager, whatever. Like
No, it's
I
the
mean,
kitchen because that executive chef, he doesn't make every plate. That sous chef,
Well, okay,
he doesn't make every plate.
But they go through so many plates a night. Like it's got to be the guy that's looking over everything that's at fault.
That's the expediter. And he gets paid
Expediter
the least.
or
and he doesn't give
or
a
the kitchen
fuck.
manager. Well, because he's paid salary,
Yeah.
right? Like I mean, that's the difference.
Yeah.
I think that I don't know, man. There's a big difference between that and Sonic. And
There really is.
what's sad is right now I don't feel like I even get the minimal from like Sonic.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's I don't know. Service
Nobody-
is not like
Nobody
appreciated
wants to
like it
work
used be.
anymore.
I don't know if they don't want to work. I think they don't feel like it's worth the money they're making.
Well,
And
then
there's
fucking work harder. You make more money.
I mean, I agree with that. And I've seen that firsthand. I mean, my girls, they do well at the bar. Very well for what they are. Right?
yeah.
I mean, the hardest thing they do is lift an ice bucket. For sure. We don't sell chicken wings. We don't
You guys have no food.
we're not known
You
for
have booze and cigars.
We're not known for a really good hamburger
Yeah.
or whatever. Like we're known for good service. And my girls
That's it.
know that. They know that like you got to talk to them.
Yeah.
You got to appreciate them.
Right.
And you know that the guy coming in is going to be somebody that's going to be coming in 2 or 3 times a week versus once a month,
Yeah.
which is most bars.
And-
So like we have a really high regular rate. So I got to tell people like that we sell exclusivity. That's what we sell.
Right.
And if you can't get on board with that, you're not going to do well. And the people that don't do well with that don't do well at my bar. Like
It the cigar lounge aspect of things is I don't know, a little different.
it's spinning 2 plates.
It really
For
is.
sure it is.
And you're trying to balance and trying to have a good time and you're trying to make everybody happy, but you realize that if you try to make everybody happy, both of your plates are hitting the ground.
Do you know how many times a week I hear, you know what you should do? I mean, it's like
no, it's every guy that walks into your shop.
every person, right? And I get it. And by the way, I appreciate what they're saying because it's not
Feedback is feedback.
bullshit. They genuinely feel like it's going to make the place better, and I
Right.
get that. Like that's fine. And I honestly, most of that stuff I think about, and I go,
Yeah.
okay, is that worth it or is it not? Like,
Can I
there's a-
put this in the role?
and
that
there's a
this
financial number I
place
got to
has?
put to it, and I
Yeah.
got to compare it to what we're making, and blah blah blah. But like, I mean, right now is a really interesting time. I mean, luxuries are taking a hit right now.
They are.
Look at the stock market today in the last 2 days, right? Like, it's pretty fucked. People are not.
How
Yeah.
did you wake up this morning?
To put it politely.
People are not going and buying 6 cigars right now. They're buying 2, and
If that.
if that for sure.
Right?
I think you're seeing a lot more like bundles are being.
So
bought
do you
more.
think it's because it's an election year?
I think
or do you
I
think-
think a lot of people disagree with me on that, but I think that is the reason.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah.
No, and I like to have this conversation.
Yeah.
Because, like, and I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm a little bit older than you.
Mhm.
I've been through a little bit more election cycles than you have.
For sure.
A
lot more.
So, fuck off.
Just with them so I can get the AARP discount sooner.
That's it, bro. The only reason is because of the fucking senior discounts. That's it.
Bro, I've been in this business for 20 years.
Yeah,
Trust me, I've seen it.
I know.
I
right?
know it's tumultuous.
Like- And the worst part is like I fucking know better. I still made the choice.
I'm telling you,
Bitch.
any election cycle,
That's why I made the choice.
any election cycle, you can't predict.
Dude, it's a
it.
shit show.
It's so up
Right.
in the air. And we're fortunate at Tobacco House because we have the bar to lean on. We could go, we can rely on the liquor sales and
So you guys can
the shot nights and stuff.
You
like
can
that. Like,
smoke inside,
yeah,
right? So you're
Yeah.
one of like what?
2.
Like 8 places in Texas.
Maybe in Texas, in this
entire
area,
state.
in this area 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In San Antonio too, but in
Yeah.
Texas, maybe 8
Yeah.
that you can smoke in
But that was
and
weird. during-
drinking at the same time.
That was weird during COVID, like
Oh, COVID.
because we're not a bar.
Right.
We are a tobacco shop that happens to have a bar. There's a big difference, right? Like during COVID, my buddies are hitting me up. Hey, let's go out for drinks. I'm like, there's nowhere to go. And they're going, we're going to Applebee's. I'm like, well, what's the
Oh,
difference?
yeah, that's going to be so
It's
fun.
literally across the street from me. And I'm like, well, why are you going there to drink? We can serve
Yeah.
drinks.
Why don't you come here?
And the reason was because we were a bar, but we're not. We're under 50.
You're a lounge.
We're under 51% alcohol. Sales,
Right.
Right. We're a blue sign.
Yep.
We are a lounge that happens to have a bar. That's a big difference. And so I called the city and I explained that to them. And that's why we were the only, like, quote unquote, bar to be able to be open during COVID because we aren't a bar.
Right.
And that, I knew that people were going to go back to home base once those bars opened.
Yeah.
And I knew that, like, once downtown got opened back up and everybody wanted to go to their favorite home spot, like they're going to go there. And I get that, but I wanted to maintain at least like 5 to 10% of those people.
Right.
We kind of did pretty well on that, but like that COVID actually helped us in that sense that we got more notoriety. Because
So do you think that COVID helped the cigar industry as a whole
no,
or hurt?
hurt.
Really? Why?
Yeah, because all those rollers, fucking half of them, not half of them, but a lot of them like got COVID.
Now, are you looking at like the manufacturing side? Are you looking at the
Well, I have
retail
to.
side?
I have to
Yeah.
because that affects me, right? Like,
So I'm gonna go the opposite. I'm gonna say that COVID helped the cigar industry
why is that?
as a whole. The reason is because every single person that would hit a cigar shop on the weekends or a day off or a long weekend or whenever it was appropriate for a group to go hang out now realize that, hey, I'm work for home. I don't get to hang out anymore.
Yeah.
But my friends still do this at their houses. And they're forming a group among themselves. Now, like
They also had a
sole
lot of,
reason.
they had a lot of money.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
now hold on. The sole reason this podcast is where it's at today
Yeah.
is because of fucking COVID.
I believe that for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
that makes sense.
we started doing a buddy check because we were like, hey, if we can't see each other every
Yeah.
week,
Yeah.
the fuck do you think everybody else is going to feel?
Yeah.
So, okay, every week we're doing a buddy check. Hey, man, go check on your buddy. Call your buddy, text your buddy. However the fuck, smoke signals, whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
Get a hold of him, make sure he's okay. And if everybody does that at the same time, then everybody's going to be checking on everybody else.
Yeah.
Right? No, I mean, it worked for what it worked. It was what it was. But looking back on it, like the industry as a whole, like we sold more cigars during COVID than pre-COVID.
Oh, we did too. I mean, you're
You know
right.
what I
There was a
mean?
lot of people that, because smoking a cigar is something that a lot of people do at their house on their own time. Right. So what-
COVID hit and everybody's sitting at home.
well, with a stimulus check, with, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like oh wait,
fuck it,
like,
I'll buy a Padron.
so my
Like,
bills are paid. I get an extra grand sitting here,
that happened, right?
Fuck.
That's
and I smoke cigars. Like I'm gonna buy some cigars. Maybe I'm gonna get a new humidor.
so.
Maybe I'm gonna get some accessories, or I'm gonna outfit a room in my house.
Oh, by the way, back then eggs were $2.99 a carton.
Oh, bro,
you know,
don't even talk about.
but that's
that.
what I'm saying. If you compare to now, like,
Yeah.
now's a really interesting time.
Like I wish I
Really,
would have bought
really-
cigars back then.
Fuck, dude. I knew a guy. I know a guy that bought so much Placencia back then.
Yeah,
That
where's
was-
it at? Because I'll buy it from
Just
you.
down the road. He bought a shitload of Placencia at the time because he knew that the shit was going to blow up, and
Right.
Placencia was just kind of making. I mean,
They're
they-
just getting into the market.
which is crazy, by the way, because Placencia has been in it for so long
100
as a family.
years.
But then they started really
100
blowing up as a
something
cigar
years.
manufacturer.
Yeah.
and they put their name on it and they say, well, the best tobacco for their cigars, but whatever. Like this guy bought all this tobacco because it was dirt cheap back then, because he knew that in 2 years this shit's going to blow up and they're going to run out. And he was right.
Yeah.
I mean, that shit.
But he had no idea that COVID is going to happen.
No, this is right before. It might have been right when COVID was happening. Honestly,
That's fuck. When was that? 18.
No.
End of 18.
2020 is when it really,
2020.
like beginning of 2020.
First case wasn't in the U.S. until
So I took over.
2020.
You want to hear a
19?
crazy? You want to hear a
Excuse me.
crazy
End of
thing?
19.
I took over Tobacco House in March of 2020. It was right when they first put the lockdown.
They
down.
can't fire you.
No,
They can't.
I mean they could, but like it to be a
Why?
silly decision, like
For
and
wrongful fucking wrongful termination.
I mean, they wouldn't, and I wouldn't want to leave. But I'm saying, like, I started that job. It was actually kind of a weird blessing, because when I got in, it was March of 2020. I was in the middle of leaving my other job, and I was in the food business. And when the food business hit the fan with COVID, it was insane, insane, dude.
that was even almost
it
worse than alcohol.
All to go orders.
Yeah.
Nobody could come in the shop. You forced to go with DoorDash and Favor and all this shit.
Right.
We just weren't set up for it, and a lot of people weren't. And I applaud the restaurants that are still standing from that, because like that was a huge.
It was a fucking adapt and run. And if you can't adapt and run, you're gonna fucking.
I'll tell you the last thing I said. I sent out a message to all my managers when I left Thundercloud, and I said, if you can't adapt to this adversity, you're not cut for this business. And I believe that any form of adversity thrown at you is you can change that to be a profit for yourself. Like you can change that to make it beneficial for you.
Right.
You just have to adapt to it.
Yeah.
And it's the people that throw up their hands and go, I can't.
Yeah, I don't know how to make this work.
I can't do this.
Yeah.
They blame everybody. I'm telling you, the places that stuck through it and said, we're going to make family deals, we're going to make, delivery options that we never had before. And if you're going you want 12 enchiladas for whatever, half the price, we're going to sell it to you. Like those people survived.
Let's fucking go. I got to keep my lights on, the doors open.
They were the people that said, fuck you, fuck everything else. I got to make my note.
Yeah.
Like I got to pay people.
That's
I
it.
got to pay.
However it works.
I'm going to do it.
Work.
And they did it. And I applaud those people. And Thundercloud was one of those places, for real. That being said, it was very, very tough. And it was very,
dude, it's hard for us as a cigar company.
Dude, think of these people. They have had their business for 40 years.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, in less than a month, you have to change your entire business to fit a need of people that wanted they wanted the food. They wanted the same thing they've always wanted. But
now they want it brought to them or delivered to them or picked up by somebody else.
Or if they walk in your restaurant, they might die, which is what they thought. Like,
so I still want your product,
right?
But I can't be within 6 feet of you. How are you going to make this work? Because if I'm within 6 feet of you and I have a certain train of thought, I'm not going to make your life easy.
No.
So now I want your product. I want you to give it to me in this fucked up time of the world. But don't get close to me. Don't try to talk to me. And don't try to give me money, because you have to do it 6 feet away.
So a lot of those people would pick up their food and they didn't want to tip.
Yeah.
They do. I mean, it affected a lot of things. Like, they weren't taking straws for their soda. Like, there's a bunch of different weird shit like they weren't doing that they normally would. So I left that business in the middle of this weird, like,
in the middle of COVID, you transitioned.
To be fair, I gave my notice in January of 2020, like January 2nd.
Okay. The COVID didn't even hit yet.
No.
And you're good.
I left in March. So I gave them 2 months of like,
and then COVID hit, and then you left.
And then I was like, I'm out.
Right? So we went.
Just like Scott, out.
He's out. So we went to Nicaragua to switch factories.
Yeah, because
we got back 24 hours before the world shut down when COVID hit.
Crazy, man.
Right? So you're talking about this, about in January, you put your notice in.
Yeah.
And then by what, March you said?
Yeah, I gave him 2 months.
So March is when you started your new job.
I'm done. Yeah.
Right. So we didn't really put a notice, for lack of better words, but We went down to Nicaragua and we made a decision to change factories. We had no idea that COVID was a thing.
Yeah. No
Right.
one did.
So
Yeah.
we get back and we put our order in with the new factory. We move forward like fucking business as usual.
Yeah.
And then 24 hours later,
best
the
thing we're
world stops.
Yeah.
And we're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And we're like, hey, man, we're still getting those cigars, right? And he's like, yeah, no problem. Everything's good to go. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then it was just like blind trust after that. You know, like
A lot of the world went off that.
it really did.
This blind trust thing was real. Like the benefit of COVID for me was that I mean, for a month and a half, I was forced to sit in the bar and rewrite the bar and
Right.
rewrite the procedures and the menu
Yeah.
and the whatever. I mean, the handbooks, all that shit. Like
You had no other option. You
we had
to.
we had a lot of time to like figure it out, and I think people that didn't make it through that,
So
I feel for them.
Now,
but also I don't think they were prepared for
I
that.
have a business question for you.
Do it.
Right. Okay. So pre-COVID,
Yeah.
how many employees did you have?
Oh, I think pre-COVID employees.
So pre-rewriting everything.
probably 7 or 8.
Okay. How many did you have after?
I mean, right after
No. Yeah. Like
mean, what are we
6 months after COVID.
6,
Yeah.
5, 6, something like that,
So you lost employees.
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, but they were coming to a place that wasn't open,
No.
right? Like I
I'm
get-
not saying that.
and
It's,
we got every business that was a business got PPP money and all that.
look
We could get-
when you're
we made it
relying
worth their while, but
when
like,
you're relying on a tip system, a gratitude
yes,
system,
yeah,
and nobody's coming into these places because of a federal mandate. Clearly, you're
time
going
it
to
was-
lose employees.
at the time it was state, which really made me pissy with Abbott, but yeah,
but it didn't matter whether
Yeah.
it was state or it was federal.
Yeah.
Like it was going to happen no matter what.
I'll tell you this, for a month and a half, well, maybe a little less, for probably a month, we were just curbside, where people
Yeah.
could literally walk up to the door.
Like, hey, I need these cigars.
Yeah, and that was it. And,
Right.
and we were paying our girls to be at those tables.
But then they realized, like, hey, I need these cigars and this drink. Did you guys do that?
no,
Oh, you didn't?
not for a month and a half,
Oh,
because we were told we couldn't,
okay.
right? Like they couldn't come in there.
So
and
Texas
go to-
eventually went to go drink.
No, fuck that. I fucking called the city and said we're not a blue or we're not a red sign. We're a blue sign.
Yeah.
We're not a bar. What's the difference between me and Applebee's? And the difference is cheeseburgers.
That's it.
We don't sell cheeseburgers. We sell cigars. That's it. That's the only difference.
Right.
And so once I told them that, they said, "Well, let's look into it." And they did. And they called me back and they said, "You can serve. You just can't have them sit at the bar top or whatever, but you can sit at the table, whatever."
Too easy. I'll sell them to go.
Well, dude, the problem is we became the only quote unquote bar that was open. So from June to like September, we were the only bar
Yeah.
that was a true bar,
Right.
if that makes
Like,
sense.
you would actually like walk into.
And get a drink and nothing else. Like,
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we were. And so we got a lot of people that we weren't used to. I was breaking up fights. I was doing all kinds of
That's
shit.
awesome.
Totally different.
I was so proud of you for breaking up fights during COVID. No, because that was one of my questions. Like,
Yeah.
so during COVID, if you let people in, like, was
Yeah.
it rowdy
For
or
sure.
were everybody
They all
totally
drank,
chill?
like Tito's and up. They didn't drink well. They drank call and hot. And
Well, yeah,
hot
if I'm going to go
It
out and
was
I'm
so
having
different.
booze,
Like,
I'm
they
going to
were-
fucking pay for
the
it. Let's go.
downtown, quote unquote, downtown crowd is different than the normal crowd, right? And we're a bar that's used to probably 89% regular rate,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
a lot higher than most bars
Right.
because we're a cigar bar. So like, we had a lot of people coming in that were not. I mean, they wanted Tito's and
Yeah.
Red Bull, and it's like,
I was like, cool, bro. Here you go.
yeah, we'll do
Thanks.
it. Like, but they were also used to bars that were, a lot of people and
Right.
don't look at my girl and all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it became kind of one of those
It's
things.
COVID is a weird fucking
It was weird.
era.
The weirdest thing that happened to me, I had a customer. I was off the clock and I was there on like a Sunday just hanging out, and I had a customer. Dude, we were supposed to be like telling people you had to wear a mask unless
Yeah.
you're sitting at a table. So like these guys are walking around without their mask, and I tell them, and I'm off the clock. I'm not wearing my shirt or
Yeah.
anything. I was like, hey man, you mind wearing your mask?
And he's like, go fuck yourself, bud.
The best part was, he said to me these words. He said, why don't you mind your fucking business?
Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, here's the thing, man. Like, it is my business. Like literally, it is. Like, he apologized later, but like, man, we didn't want to be the mask Nazi.
Right.
We didn't want to be trust me, we're not about that. Like, we didn't want that shit, but we had to.
I have a similar
to be
story
open, like,
out of Arizona. Right. So I just did a fucking sales trip in Arizona. So I'm out there for like a week or two, hitting shops, doing everything, that we have to do for as a cigar company.
Yeah.
So I'm on my way back, right? And between Phoenix and Texas, in Arizona, you drive through a handful of Indian reservations, right? So at this point, it was like the tail end of COVID. Like I already had it in the beginning. It fucked me up. Like it sucked. It was what it was.
Yeah.
So I'm on my way back from Phoenix. I already visited, I don't know, fucking 20 shops. And so I stopped to literally get an energy drink and take a piss.
Yeah.
And I walk in, it was a grocery store on an Indian reservation in the middle of Western fucking Arizona. So I walk in there and the lady's like, sir, you need a mask. And I'm like, no, I don't. Because like we're at the point in COVID where we don't need fucking masks. Yeah. And she's like, yeah, you do. And I'm like, no, actually, the fuck I don't. And she's like, actually, you do. You're on Indian reservation right now. So you have to wear a mask to walk into this building. And at this point, like I'm far enough into my road trip where I know where like my gas stops are and everything. And I'm like, there's not another gas station for like 250, 300 miles. And I'm like, so like I wanted some food, but I also had to take a shit. So like, okay, cool. So I fucking throw a mask on, go do my business, get my food, do whatever. I end up fucking getting COVID. I didn't talk to a single fucking person within 6 feet of me that day.
Yeah.
I got back. By the time I got back, I had fucking COVID. And yeah, it was a fucking, like, I was fucking pissed.
The mask thing was weird.
It really was.
I mean, it was weird how we blindly, as a society, it was just like, yeah, this will fix everything.
The best part was they were like, hey, masks don't work. And they were like,
from day one.
Hey, so like, don't listen to them. You still have to wear these. And everyone was like, well, they said we have to wear them, so we have to wear them.
Dude, I know.
And then there was that small percentage that were mask fucking Nazis.
I know people that worked at respiratory hospitals. That was their specialty, was respiratory.
And they're like, they don't work.
Like, this is not.
They don't work. Why the
Unless
fuck?
you have an N95,
They don't
like
work.
this is not how it
and
works.
even if you have one, if it's not fitted to you, it doesn't work.
This like emotional, I feel better. I mean, that's what it was. And then not only that, this is why I was mad at Abbott at that time, was because he was like, yeah, you have to tell that to your customers. I'm like, dude, these customers are coming in here to spend their money. I'm not gonna sit here and like tell them how science works. Like I'm not. That's not my job. My job is to serve them fucking whiskey and a cigar and tell them enjoy the time. And he was
please fucking get that every once in a while.
He was so.
Leave me out of this.
I like Abbott, but I'm telling you, he didn't do shit until DeSantis stood up and did his thing.
100%.
And like, man, people forget that shit.
Some
like,
would say he's spineless. Because he's paralyzed.
Oh, wheels. Yeah, no, we got it.
oh, different spineless. I get it.
Like, I think he was doing the best he could for a situation that he was handled. That's the nice way.
Like, it is the absolute worst fucking word in the English language. But it was unprecedented.
I mean, it was.
That's the word. I fucking hate that. But they've never been in that situation before.
I mean, arguably, maybe with Spanish flu, but that was a different time.
Technology was different then, though. Like,
fair.
there was different things you had to focus on.
And I get it, but man, for 6 months, it was like, man, it was hard. And now,
literally, it was like,
now,
we don't know what the fuck to do.
From 2019, 2020 to now. I mean, it's been a world of difference in not only sales for my place,
like,
and
please come at me for back.
Well,
taxes.
now we're like,
please come at me. I will fucking destroy you because it's all bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, now we're at the position where people, they don't want to spend their money because they're afraid.
Well, they don't know
what's going to happen.
What's going to, yeah.
And I believe,
They don't know what's
like,
gonna happen.
I get it.
Right.
Like, I totally get it. We're fortunate. I mean, I've heard so many, I mean, I don't want to put names out there, but I've heard like 2 or 3 cigar shops that are closing right now. Like,
Yeah.
I get it. Like, man, trust me, I see the numbers hardcore. Like,
How deep of the rabbit hole of not investing right now do you want to go down?
oh man.
So Mal, what would you not want to invest in right now?
Right now,
Yeah.
consumer discretionary stocks, and definitely don't fucking buy Nvidia. If you have been buying Nvidia in the last 8 fucking months, you are the dumbest motherfucker that ever walked this fucking
I
earth.
mean, people want to stay home and play games, right? Like,
Honestly,
No.
Yeah.
So there was a thing going around on Reddit about Nvidia and how it's blowing up right now, blah, blah,
I
blah,
mean,
and all
it
this
was.
shit. And people are dumping money into it.
no.
And then you look at the,
you just
Well, it's-
missed out on 300%.
yeah, like it already
And the
moved.
price to earnings ratio is already almost 6 times
Because
what
you're-
the index
you-
is moving
But you're
at.
selling stocks to a person that's the only thing that's relatable. They play a lot of computer games. They use NVIDIA cards. They know that like this is a company that's booming. So it's relatable, quote unquote, to them. They have no idea about the market. They don't know.
Well, they didn't realize that they've been doing the same fucking shit for 20 years and it's just now kicking in.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and across the board on the stock market,
Yeah.
that's kind of how everything works. So Mel works in finance. She does a lot of really cool things that makes a lot of people stupid fuck you money.
Nice.
When it works out.
Well,
Yeah.
anything in the market is
Yeah.
a gamble.
Yeah.
Like it's never guaranteed. You're never gonna make it. Like
Yeah.
literally their firm can be like, hey, like you invest in this, you can make 10%.
Well, we can't say that. That's
Potentially.
non-compliant.
No, I get that, but potentially.
Yeah.
Like you could potentially do this because they can't guarantee you any returns.
No.
That's not how this
So what do you do right
That
now?
works.
When it's all like tanking.
Well-
hope and pray.
No, because I've been preparing for this shit since
Yeah,
2021.
She really has.
Like,
So
it's-
the funny part is this morning on my way in to
Huh.
work, right? She's already on a phone call and she's having a conversation with a person, kind of not really explaining what's going on, but making sure that her and the other person are on the same page of what's going on.
Yeah.
And then the other person was like, yeah, everything's a fucking shit show right now.
Mhm.
And she's like, yeah, it really is. But by the way, we have this product that deters your losses that you have going on.
10,
right
20,
now.
30% to the downside on the 3
Right.
major equity indices.
So the people that she deals with makes their consumers money, makes their customers money.
So essentially, like,
Plus or minus doesn't fucking matter.
I'm consulting for financial advisors on what to invest their clients' money in,
Gotcha.
like product distribution, research, all that.
So
So the consumer doesn't talk to you directly.
Mm-mm.
no.
Okay. Yeah.
But so like if you're like, hey, look, hey,
But an advisor can say, "Hey, come
Right.
sponsor this
Yeah,
event
yeah,
and
yeah.
come give this
like
market update to my."
we
clients."
could have met and
Yeah.
and I could have been like, yeah, man, I'm a financial advisor, and you're like, hey, I'm looking for one of these,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, awesome, we're gonna have a great partnership,
Yeah.
and you're like, hey, man, I got 20 grand to invest. I'm like, awesome, I'm gonna make you so much money because I'm a financial advisor and I'm gonna fill you full of fucking shit. So you're gonna give me your money, and I'm gonna turn around, and I'm gonna call her.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna be like, hey man, I got all this money I got to invest, and I promised all these fucking
Make it fucking
returns.
happen. Yeah.
How can I do this?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not make it happen. It's never make it happen. It's how can I do this?
Gotcha. Okay.
And they take that pool of money and they invest it based on the aggressiveness of that financial advisor.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Like, I'm not afraid to lose my people money. Okay,
Right.
cool. Buy this.
Yeah.
Or like, hey, my people are gonna fuck me up.
So what do you tell them?
What do
today
I do?
when everything's?
What do you
You
tell
want
them
me to-
today? Good fucking
I mean,
luck.
like, really?
I'm sure you heard me say Godspeed, sister.
Yeah.
Godspeed, my friend.
I mean,
like,
how-
this
how did
shit's kicking
It's
off.
crazy right now.
So, I mean, what I would tell everyone is stop buying fucking NVIDIA.
Yeah.
We're going to end up in some sort of engagement in the Middle East in the next 6 months.
We have to.
Yeah.
Look at Lockheed Stark.
Uh-huh.
Lockheed stock is like,
Yeah, but that's
insane.
just
Like,
that's
It's
just
not even just them. Imagine
know.
if you
Like-
knew how many other government contracts were
So-
out there.
it's crazy.
like the fact that like there's that going on. Like obviously everyone's super excited about the AI breakout.
yeah.
The fact of the matter is the every single time the price to earnings ratio of the S&P 500 is over 22, which right now it's at 24.6. And over half the companies in the S&P are unprofitable in essence right now. They're flat or down for the year. So you look at how much of the market share is controlled by these 6 companies that are only really dabbling in this one specific area of the broader global tech market. Obviously, there are like all kinds of software companies looking at implementing AI for,
Right.
upgrading their systems, but it's not broad to that extent yet.
Okay.
What comes with that? Like, how much more room is there to run? They've already cornered the market on everything. It's going to be a slow trickle of developments as this goes, but you have to have data centers constructed. You have to house supercomputers. So, like, ChatGPT's headquarters uses the same amount of water and energy as a city of 2.5 million people in 1 year.
That's crazy.
So what are you investing in? You're investing in water utilities. You're investing in electric utilities companies. You're investing in lending institutions that traditionally loan money to these companies that get bids to build these centers for everything.
Well, and it's crazy because like the average consumer, the average investor is going to look at it and be like, I'm investing in this company
Yeah.
because this is what they do. They do X or they do Y.
Well, that's the point of.
But they don't
the price,
realize
right? Is-
that
Yeah.
like, oh, well, they just dumped like $500 million in infrastructure for their own company. And that's what we're investing in. Like, why am I investing in infrastructure of a tech company?
There was a $1.2 trillion water utility and infrastructure bill passed 2.5 years ago. So
No, it's insane.
Like-
But like people don't realize
Yeah.
that these companies, this
So-
is what they're based off of. And they're just like, oh no, they make computer chips. It's
So-
like, bro, listen.
there was the tech bust in 2001, 2002. Like this was the internet boom. Like everyone got over Y2K. Everything got run the fuck up. Everything was overvalued. Everything crumbled. It took 14 years for the NASDAQ to return to pre-tech bust levels. So looking at the forward price to earnings ratio that I was talking about above 22, there's an average 1.6% annualized price return of the S&P and the NASDAQ for 10 years following anytime the price to earnings is over 22. So essentially what you're looking at now is these 6 companies make up over 30% of the domestic equity indices. They control that much of the market. So they're overvalued massively. So then you move outside of the tech plus sector and everything's going to perform better than its tech counterpart because it's overvalued. It's the current price that it's at does not support the amount of revenue moving through it. So if you're looking at opportunities and what to do now, don't dump all your money in fucking tech.
Yeah.
Like, so
No, it's a beast, bro. It's a beast. Like
It's a piece.
and it's funny because like you look at the movie like Wolf of Wall Street and you're like, oh, these guys are having a blast.
Fucking penny stocks.
Right?
Like,
They're having a great fucking time.
I fantasize about leaping off the 9th floor balcony of my building at least once a day.
The caveat of that entire fucking movie is committing suicide. Like
yeah.
that's the industry that finance is. It's cutthroat. It's a shit show.
I'm glad I sell
It's
cigars.
volatile.
I sell cigars and whiskey for a living, and I'm happy with
Now the whiskey part
damn,
keeps
dude.
you happy,
The
and the
neurosis,
cigar part gives you a fucking coronary.
the neurosis
reason
with
to
my
come
stuff
back.
is you wake up every day with the acute awareness that what you're doing impacts people's net worth.
Yeah.
Like, and if there's anything that this society assigns any value to, it's what someone is worth from a monetary standpoint. So
Yeah,
it
but
like
that's a whole other discussion.
that's a whole nother discussion, but waking up with that, like all the shit, like that's 100th of what I'm talking
Right.
about during the day.
Yeah.
And pulling all of that in and then I'm stressing because these are my clients who are taking care of not only their money, but other people that I'll probably never meet or hear about's money. So what do? Research until your fucking eyeballs bleed so you can sleep at night? Like,
It's not going to be that accurate. That's the weird part.
No.
Right.
Because if we all had a crystal ball, we'd all be sitting on the fucking beach drinking Mai Tais. But instead, I'm not doing that.
No, we're doing a goddamn podcast instead. It's fucking bullshit. I want to be on a beach drinking fucking Mai Tais. God damn it. Fucking work
Sell more
harder.
fucking cigars. How
Work
about that?
harder.
Sell more
You?
fucking cigars.
Fucking work harder, you.
Drinking Mai Tais right now, I think.
Dude, so to all you listeners out there, buy more fucking cigars.
Please.
And to all the people in finance,
For the love
that
of
have
God, please
hundreds of
buy
millions
more
of dollars,
cigars.
invest with her so we can sit on a beach and drink fucking Mai Tai.
You're
Go-
invited.
okay.
Go
if you do
to
all
Tobacco
those-
House at 651 North Business Line
Yes.
35 to buy the cigars.
Go buy them all from fucking them, and then we'll sell them to them, and we'll be good to go.
I do need to push before we end this.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have to
yeah.
end this soon. September 14th, they're doing an event with Black Label Trading Company and Black Work Studio. That should be a
Love
good
those
event.
guys.
August 25th, they're doing an event with my old band's releasing a vinyl from 19 years ago or something,
Okay.
which is weird for me, but cool, I guess. So we're doing an event for that. And then October 26th, we're doing an event with Casada for the.
I love those guys too.
Dude, their Oktoberfest. Have you had the new one?
I haven't yet because they
Come
just
get one.
released it and
Come
I
get
get
one.
it.
I
I
just
will
got,
come
I got
by.
them in on Friday.
I saw your post.
Dude,
I need
I have
need
not
one.
smoked them yet, but I like
Yeah.
the 2023s were awesome.
I like quesada shit.
Yeah,
so.
dude, they're good. Yeah. We're doing an event with them. We're giving away two keg sets. They're like they're growler sets, so you can pour 128 ounces of beer into this thing, pressurize it, make it a tap, put it in your fridge. What are you going to do?
Oh, nice.
We're giving away two of those.
Okay.
I'm probably cooking bratwurst for that. That should be fun.
Nice. Cool. It's still not going to top the Warfighter event, but it'll be fun.
Dude, that was such a good event.
We had a great time.
Absolutely.
But so to fucking cap this bitch off. Typically our debate, we create a problem and we solve it.
Yeah, well, we did solve it because you could just, if you're trying to impart wisdom on your 13-year-old self, you can just play this fucking episode for them
Yeah.
and you don't have to say a goddamn word.
You know,
There you
the
go.
hardest part is going to be for that 13-year-old to understand what we actually talked about.
That's true.
Because he's going to listen to this whole thing and be like, Dad, I'm fucking lost.
But
and then Dad's going to be like, I'm fucking lost too, son. It's cool. We're on the same page.
what he can't understand is that he shouldn't litter no matter what color skin he has.
100%. And on that note, it's just three little things, right?
Yeah.
Three little things. Scott, what's the first one?
Smoke on.
There we go. Dylan, you want to get the second one? Drink on.
Drink on.
Hey, goddamn it,
Hey.
boys. Freedom the fuck on. Cheers, guys.
You guys are
Thank
fucking-
you all for coming out for today. We had a great fucking time, a great fucking episode. And if you didn't like this, I mean, you made it this fucking far.
Yeah.
You should have
How
started
dare
at
you.
episode 1 and you
If-
wouldn't have
if you
fucking
don't like
got
this,
here.
how dare you?
Best
100%.
financial advice I can give you is get a financial advisor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
That's
don't
it.
litter,
Don't litter. Don't fucking do
especially
it.
if you're Hispanic.
Don't fucking litter. And Irish car bombs are
A problem? I mean, a good thing?
Scott, what are they?
Delicious.
They are fucking delicious. Boys and girls, have a good night and
Merry
we'll talk to you
Christmas.
guys next week.
Happy New Year.